In ancient India, Gautama Buddha traveled village to village with his disciples, spreading the wisdom of compassion, mindfulness, and the path to enlightenment. Among his followers was a young monk named Kunda, known for his dedication and strict adherence to a life of purity and discipline. Kunda's practice was strict, even severe. He avoided any association with people or places he believed to be impure or corrupt, believing that true enlightenment required total separation from any influence he saw as tainted. One day, Kunda overheard villagers gossiping about a woman named Amara. Known for her profession as a prostitute, Amara lived in the outskirts of the neighboring village, providing companionship to those who sought her out. Kunda's face twisted with disgust as he heard her name. He refused to step foot in that village, dismissing it as a place of moral corruption. Buddha, observing Kunda's response, decided it was time to teach him an important lesson about true purity and compassion. "Kunda," Buddha called one evening, as the monks gathered under the shade of the Bodhi trees. "There is a woman in the neighboring village named Amara. I would like you to go and spend time with her." Kunda was shocked, his heart racing with confusion and resistance. "Master," he stammered, "Amara is a woman of low virtue. I have devoted myself to a life of purity. How can you send me to such a person?" Buddha looked at Kunda with a calm and compassionate gaze. "Are you certain your purity is so weak that it can be shaken by another? Or are you afraid that what you call purity may not be as deep as you think?" Kunda's pride was wounded, and his thoughts grew tangled. He respected his master and trusted him deeply, but this task went against everything he believed. He struggled to understand how associating with a woman like Amara could lead him to enlightenment. Yet, unable to refuse Buddha's request, Kunda reluctantly agreed. With hesitation, Kunda made his way to Amara's home in the neighboring village. Upon his arrival, Amara welcomed him graciously, her eyes showing a flicker of curiosity. She was surprised to see a monk, someone she would never have expected to visit her. She prepared tea, setting it before him with gentle hands. Kunda sat in silence, his thoughts chaotic, his judgment bubbling beneath the surface. But as the moments passed, he noticed her calm presence and gentle hospitality. She asked softly, "What brings you to my humble home, monk?" Kunda didn't know how to answer. His mission was unclear even to himself, but he decided to listen to her story. Over the course of several days, Amara shared her life with him, her childhood dreams, the struggles that had led her to this life, and the loneliness that gnawed at her heart despite her outwardly strong appearance. She spoke of a time when she too had dreamed of a life of respect and peace, but had fallen into circumstances that she could not escape. At first, Kunda only listened with detachment, his mind clouded by preconceived notions. But gradually, as he heard her words and witnessed her sincerity, his heart began to soften. He started seeing her as a person rather than a symbol of impurity. One evening, she asked him, her voice almost a whisper, "Do you think I'm beyond hope, that my life is condemned because of what I do?" Her question struck Kunda deeply. He was speechless, realizing that he had been so quick to judge her without understanding her suffering. Here was a woman who longed for peace and dignity as much as he did, yet she lived in a world that constantly judged and rejected her. In that moment, he saw his own arrogance, his tendency to divide the world into pure and impure, worthy and unworthy, without seeing the truth beneath the surface. With this newfound perspective, Kunda returned to Buddha. He bowed deeply before his teacher, his voice filled with humility. "Master, I see now how blind I have been. Amara showed me the true meaning of compassion without even knowing it. I realize now that purity is not about separation from others, but about seeing all beings with kindness and understanding." Buddha nodded, his face serene. "Kunda, You have learned a profound truth. Purity does not mean isolation. If your heart is truly pure, it will remain untainted no matter where you are or whom you meet. Compassion is like a clear river that flows through all lands, purifying as it goes. To understand purity is to embrace all beings, for they too are on their own paths of suffering and longing. Buddha continued, "Think of the lotus, Kunda. It blooms in muddy waters, yet its petals remain unstained. Your purity should be like the lotus, untainted in the midst of the world, embracing others without judgment." Kunda realized that in isolating himself, he had closed his heart to the very essence of the Buddha's teachings, compassion. He thanked Buddha, his soul deeply moved, and from that day forward he treated every person he met with gentleness and humility, seeing them as fellow beings on a path of growth and transformation. As for Amara, Buddha's teachings slowly spread throughout the village, and she too found acceptance and respect within the community. Kunda's story became a powerful reminder among the villagers and monks alike. True purity and enlightenment lie not in distancing oneself from the world, but in embracing it with a heart free of judgment and full of compassion.